Hi guys! So the drugstore has done it again. Almay has come out with a new foundation and this is called the Best Blend Forever. You get 1 fluid ounce and it's SPF 40. I believe they have 12 shades that they have come out with in this range, which is really small, but you know, it's the drugstore. They're not going to come out with a ton of shades. I found it at my grocery store for around $12, which I think is, you know, a typical drugstore foundation price. All right, let me read you the product details on their website and then we'll go ahead and just start playing with it. So it says it's lightweight, creamy makeup plus moisturizer in one. Buff, blend, boom. Built-in blending tool, buffs skin to a beautiful finish. Try it 2 ways. Use it with the blender attached or remove the blender and use it as a separate tool for even more control. So it's kind of like that Revlon one that we just reviewed, and I'm not too keen on this little sponge thing, but we'll try it. Powered by a moisturizing complex, the formula hydrates skin for up to 8 hours, packed with vitamins and botanicals. For care as you wear, SPF 40, 12 shades, it says lightweight, so I'm assuming this is not like, doesn't have very much coverage, which is fine. I do have a couple things I want to cover, so we'll see how it does. I have like a little blemish right there and right there and right there. So we're gonna give it a try. I'm gonna shake it, and then it does come with that stinking little sponge applicator, and the foundation is already coming out. As you can see, I wonder how that works if I take the applicator off. Oh gosh, foundation is just pouring out of it. I don't even, it's just like pouring out of it. Maybe shaking it was not such a good idea. Look at that. I'm not even squeezing it at all. Yeah, I'm not really sure what to do because the foundation will not stop just pouring out of this thing. I'm not applying any pressure to it, so it's just like dumping foundation. What a waste. And it's still coming. Oh my gosh, it's getting everywhere. Oh, all right. I think after losing about 1/4 of the foundation, it finally stopped pouring out of the tube. That was kind of ridiculous. I hope that doesn't happen every single time. But, kind of nervous to set it down and it's gonna like drip everywhere. All right. Well, I've got a little bit on this applicator, and we're gonna just try it out. Let's zoom in, right? Okay, so I'm gonna try and use this applicator. I doubt it's gonna work, but you never know. I'm assuming you just buff it like a oh my gosh, it's rock hard. No, this doesn't, oh my gosh, no, What is this? Like, did they not test this out at Almay and think, this doesn't work at all? Like, where are the testing people when they're thinking about putting out a new product? Who tests this and decides, yes, this is good? I mean, it's just streaking everywhere, and this is rock hard. I'm like beating my face. So, not gonna do it that way. I think I got a little too much, but we'll just put extra on my blemishes. All right, I'm gonna use what I normally use, which I'm into a brush right now, so that's what we're gonna use. So it's blending out quite nice. You know what? I don't know how I feel about the brush. It's not really working. So the brush I feel like is just making it look kind of cakey. So I'm gonna actually go in with a beauty blender and see if we can make it look a little better. I definitely go in with a beauty blender with this foundation instead of a brush, or even maybe your fingers. Let's try their little brush again. I'm not really sure how this thing is supposed to work. It's like rock hard. So it's definitely, with first application, lightweight. Like you can still see I've got some like redness up here from the blemish and right there and some right here, and it's not really covering it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little bit more on my beauty sponge and just kind of target those areas maybe, and just see if this foundation builds well. Okay, so It still is peeking through a little bit. I'm just gonna have to use some concealer. It kind of starts to look cakey as you put on more foundation. Yeah, actually not too bad. It just needed to be blended a little more. It's not gonna give you high coverage, but it is giving me an amazing, very luminous, dewy look. Yeah, it's definitely a dewy foundation. I think I'm going to probably end up setting it a little bit with the powder, because if it's this dewy right off the bat, I'm worried that it will get slightly oily, you know, throughout the day. Very moisturizing though. So that part is true. It is very, very moisturizing. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put on the rest of my makeup. We'll be back to see how it wears because it's very sticky. Also, it has a faint scent. Very, very faint, just kind of a light, clean smell, but it still is very sticky. So I'm gonna kind of wait 5 minutes and see if it will set on its own, or if this is something you're gonna have to kind of put a little bit of powder on top. So I will come back and let you know how it went. Alright guys, I am back. I've applied all my makeup and I have a few things to say. First of all, this foundation, it does not set, so you do have to set it with powder even if you have dry skin. I used my Coty Airspun powder to set it because it does not dry down. I waited I was doing my eyebrows, so 15 minutes maybe, and it was still really sticky. And so yeah, definitely set it with a powder. Even if it's just a very light powder, this foundation will not be good for people who have oily skin because it's very, very moisturizing and very luminous and dewy. So I would definitely stay away from it if you have oily skin. If you have dry skin, I think this is a really good foundation if you just want a little bit of lightweight moisturizing coverage, especially because it's SPF 40 in it. Like just going out, you know, somewhere where you're going to be outside, that's a weird word. Putting a little bit of this on will really help with the sun, a little bit of coverage, and very moisturizing if you have dry skin. I will zoom you guys in so you guys can get a close look. All right, here it is with all makeup on top. If I had not applied the Coty Airspun powder on top, I may have had a harder time putting on powder because it was sticky, and so it would have kind of stuck around, like my bronzer and blush would have been stuck. It would have looked patchy is what I'm trying to say, sorry. It would have looked super patchy because it would have been kind of a little too sticky. But yeah, it's just really nice. I wonder how luminous it's going to continue to get, or if it's going to stay the same. Also, it did not oxidize. I kind of was worried because this is fairly dark for me. This is like probably the darkest I would go. And I was nervous if it oxidized, it would have been way too dark, but it did not oxidize. It does not turn orange at all, which is great. And I'm kind of liking it, especially for, I mean, I have a lot of full coverage foundations. I don't have a ton of light coverage because I usually gravitate towards full coverage. But on the days where you don't need it, or on the days where you just really want to do minimal makeup, I really enjoy it. Yeah, so basically, I like the foundation so far. I definitely would set it with a powder, and I do not like the applicator at all. I'm glad that with this one, you have the option to remove the applicator and just use the bottle, which I prefer. The Revlon one you can't, so you kind of just have to squeeze it out. But I do like that they at least gave you the option, but I mean, that applicator is horrible. Yeah, I'm gonna do a couple check-ins. It is right now, what time is it? 11:18 in the morning. So we're just gonna see how this wears. I will see you guys in a little bit for a check-in. Yeah, I will see you guys soon. All right, guys, it is 6 o'clock. I've had this foundation I've had it on for 7.5 hours. I don't think I'm gonna recommend this foundation. It's worn off on my chin. It's kind of accentuating. It's like a little bit patchy. And I've had to powder already once today because it was really dewy. Like it's almost oily looking instead of just dewy. And I'm not a big fan of that. I don't like that. And so if you have oily skin, stay away. If you have dry skin, if you have extremely dry skin, you might like this. I just think there's dewy foundations that can do a little better than this, which is sad because I love Almay foundations, but this one was just it's just been wearing off and it's a little bit patchy and uneven looking. I'll show you guys up close. You can kind of see it's completely worn off on my chin. And then just like on my blemish, and I don't know if you can see how oily I look up there. I don't even know if you can see. I've already powdered it, which is crazy because I don't powder my foundations very often because I have such dry skin. But I had to powder this one, and that's weird for me. But it's just a little too oily looking instead of luminous looking for me, I guess is what it is. I mean, if you have extremely dry skin and you literally haven't found a foundation that doesn't make you look dry, then I would definitely give this a try. Yeah, unfortunately I just don't like it. If you have extremely dry skin, try it out. If you have oily skin, stay far, far away. That's my thoughts on this foundation. Thanks for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.